historically inaccurate, offensive, and worst of all, woke.
In March this year, the Assassin's Creed video game franchise dropped its 14th edition. Now, this game has always been set in some sort of historical time period where a modern day soul can kinda time travel to achieve a quest which is a mix of stealth and violence and very important for all of humanity. Something like that. I've played early editions. It's great fun. And it's wildly successful. Now, this Assassin's Creed Shadows, as it was called, was set in 16th century Japan. This was a Japan which was far more open and bustling than maybe the insular version we might imagine of historical Japan. Even before it dropped, though, the game courted controversy. Now, anything can court controversy in these outrage-fueled times that we live in, but this was specifically about one of the two playable characters in the video game. A black samurai. Historical inaccuracies, offensive, and worst of all, woke. The barbs flew thick and fast, but Ubisoft, the developer of the game, stood by its narrative. Eventually, when the game launched, it was the second best launch for the franchise, raking in plenty of dollars as well as a lot of critical acclaim and fan love. But what about that samurai? Believe it or not, he's actually based on a real historical character, Yasuke. Yasuke's origins are a bit unclear, but he was likely from Mozambique. He came to these alien Japanese shores in 1579 with this Italian Jesuit missionary. He was the missionary's slave and bodyguard. His warrior skills, his big build, his height, he was 6 feet 2 inches tall, made him an imposing figure, one that impressed a lord whose court he once happened to find himself in. There's an interesting anecdote about how Yasuke stood in that court, stripped down to his waist, while servants scrubbed him down with soap. Why? To prove this is not an illusion, that this man from a distant land actually has such dark skin. This was no ordinary court either. It was the court of one of the most powerful warlords in Japan at the time, Oda Nobunaga. Later, his work was considered foundational in what was the eventual unification of Japan. He was also known to be quite open to innovation and foreign influences. Maybe that played a part because he got Yasuke onto his service, gave him a retainer, even handed him a katana sword, no less. In fact, his name, Yasuke, was given to him by Nobunaga. So here we have a singular, unique character, an African man with this brief dalliance with Japanese history. It's inspired lots of stories. Assassin's Creed Shadows was just the latest. I wrote about Yasuke's story some time back on Coffee and Conversations, this chance encounter with a warlord that eventually leads to this violent crescendo. His last known act to us is amidst the swirl and chaos of betrayal and battle. So have a read or play the video game, but think about this story of this man from a distant land who finds himself at this turning point, this crucial juncture of Japanese history, and then 450 years later finds himself in a video game.